It started on a Tuesday morning that felt like every other tired school day. Rain tapped softly against the windows, and the classroom smelled faintly of damp coats and cheap coffee. Our teacher stood at the front, reading the attendance register in the same bored rhythm she used every morning. Names were called. Pens scratched paper. Chairs creaked. Nothing unusual. Nothing memorable. Until she reached the end of the list. She paused, just for a second. Then she said a name none of us had heard before. Daniel Hargreaves. And from the back of the room, a voice answered. Present. It was quiet. Soft. Almost distant. I turned around without thinking. The chair was empty. And nobody else reacted. The desk in the back corner had always been empty. I was certain of it. It sat by the radiator under the window, buried under dusty textbooks nobody touched. But the next day, the books were gone. In their place sat a backpack and a stack of neatly arranged notebooks. No one mentioned it. No one questioned it. When I asked my friend Chloe about the new student, she frowned like I'd asked the dumbest question possible. He's been here all year, she said. And suddenly, I was the one who felt new. Over the next few days, Daniel started appearing everywhere. Group project lists. Seating charts. Homework portals. Even the school website showed him in last year's class photo. Standing in the back row. Looking straight at the camera. The worst part wasn't that he appeared. It was that everyone else acted like he had always been there. Like reality had quietly rewritten itself, and only I remembered the original version. I went to the library and found last year's yearbook. My hands shook as I flipped through the pages. There he was. Brown hair. Pale face. Serious expression. Under the photo it read. Daniel Hargreaves, class of 2025. But this year, was 2026. At lunch, I asked about him. The table went silent. Finally someone muttered, didn't he, you know? Nobody finished the sentence. They didn't need to, the story came in whispers. After school. Stairwell B. A fall. No witnesses. Daniel Hargreaves died last year. And yet, every morning, his name was still called, Thursday morning. Attendance again. Daniel Hargreaves. The chair creaked. Present. This time, I heard it clearly. The voice came from an empty desk that I asked if anyone heard it. They didn't. To them, the room had been silent. To them, Daniel had simply answered like everyone else. And for the first time. I wondered if I was the one losing my mind. After school, I opened his notebook. Inside were perfect notes from every lesson that week. On the last page was a sentence. Thank you for noticing me. The next day, another message appeared. You're the first one who listens. The notebook wasn't just notes anymore. It was a conversation. And I had become part of it. That I began to feel watched. Empty hallways didn't feel empty anymore. Chairs shifted slightly when nobody touched them. The classroom felt occupied, even when it wasn't. I checked the CCTV. Every morning, the footage showed a chair moving on its own. Pulling out. Then sliding in. As if someone invisible sat down. Every single day. Then I watched last year's footage. Daniel walking down the stairwell. Stopping. Turning around, like someone called his name. Then stepping backwards into nothing. The notebook message changed. I didn't fall. Another message appeared. Someone pushed me. Names began appearing in the notebook. Students. Teachers. People who had been near the stairwell that day. The list kept growing. At the bottom of the page, a new name appeared. Mine. Suddenly I remembered the crowded stairwell. Someone behind me. A stumble. A scream. I never turned around. Monday morning. Attendance reached the end of the list. Daniel Hargreaves. Silence. Then the teacher added a new name. My name. And without meaning to, I whispered. Present. Now my desk sits in the back corner. Beside the radiator. Every morning my name is called. Every morning the chair creaks. And every morning, someone in class turns around. Because they're starting to notice me. Just like I noticed him.